Rae Holloway fixes transmissions for a living. Small shop. 2 bays. A hand-painted sign peeling at the corners. Nobody in town knows what she does after closing. 3 years ago, a tech giant fired her, blacklisted her, and told the industry she couldn't be trusted with a login. Tonight, she's the only person alive who can stop that company's entire truck fleet from killing someone on the highway outside her window. She has to decide if she still wants to save them. By day, Holloway Auto smells like brake fluid and burnt coffee. Rae's hands stay stained, the good kind, the kind you earn. A photo of her son is taped inside her toolbox lid. Danny, 11, front tooth missing in the picture. Most afternoons he does homework on a stool by the register, waiting out her shift. At night, the shop becomes something else entirely. She locks the bay door, pulls a beat-up laptop from a drawer under the register, an old sticker half peeled off the lid, Vantage Autonomous. Nobody ever revoked her login. Nobody remembered it existed. Some nights the only sound left in the building is that fan working too hard and the click of her keys in the dark. For 6 weeks, she's watched incident reports scroll across a public forum. Phantom braking. Trucks stopping dead on empty highway for reasons nobody official will explain. She recognized the pattern immediately. She flagged it 3 years ago. A half-second gap between camera and radar, in rain, at dusk. Back then, they called it an edge case. Nobody fixed it. They just buried the report, and buried her along with it. Rain came that Tuesday, right at dusk, drumming steady on the tin roof over her second bay. A Vantage freight truck rolled through on its nightly run. 60,000 pounds, no driver, a green light blinking on the cab to say the system had it handled. Gary Odell pulled his pickup out of the gas station across the street. Same time every night, 31 years running, never missed once. For half a second, the truck system didn't see him. Brakes screamed. Steel groaned against wet asphalt. Gary's truck stalled out sideways, 6 feet short of 80 tons of freight. Both men just sat there after, hazards blinking into the rain. Rae watched it happen through her shop window. Wrench still in her hand. Not a theory anymore. She turned it over most of the night. Say nothing and let the lawsuits do the talking once someone didn't walk away from one of these. Vindication, eventually, with a body count attached to it. Or fix it herself, tonight, on a login that legally wasn't hers anymore. She thought about Danny asleep upstairs, about what a hacking charge does to a single mother with one small business and no lawyer on retainer. Then she thought about Gary's taillights, 6 feet from a truck that should have seen him. She opened the laptop. Her hands went calm. They always did, once she understood a problem completely. She rewrote the timing window in 11 lines, ran it against every incident report she'd pulled off that forum. Clean. Exact. The same fix she'd written 3 years earlier, still sitting untouched in a closed ticket with her name on it. 2:14 a.m., she pushed it live across the whole fleet. An hour later, outside her window, a Vantage truck rolled through the rain and stopped clean for a deer at the tree line. Stopped early. Stopped smooth. The way it was always supposed to. By 6 that morning, Vantage's security team had traced the access point to a repair shop off exit 126. By 9, a black SUV crunched into her gravel lot. Grant Ashby stepped out, her old team lead, grayer at the temples now. A lanyard still swinging from his neck out of habit, like he'd never really left the building it belonged to. He came in expecting to find a hacker. He found Rae elbow deep in a Silverado's engine and her son doing long division on a stool by the register. Grant held up his phone, her patch on one side of the screen, her old, closed ticket number on the other. "You used a credential that should have been dead," he said. "It should have been," Rae said, not looking up from the engine. "Nobody ever closed mine out. Sloppy work. I could find you 11 more holes just like it, if you're paying this time." Grant didn't answer right away. He didn't need to threaten her. The math had already done that on its own. 3 years of a buried warning, 1 truck, 6 feet from killing a man, and a fix that worked exactly the way she said it would the first time she wrote it. "Legal wants to talk about unauthorized access," he said finally. Then legal can explain to a jury why a fired engineer knew about a lethal bug 3 years before anyone still on payroll did a single thing about it. Grant looked around the shop, at the peeling paint on the sign outside, at Danny, still bent over his homework like none of this concerned him. "What do you want?" he asked. She didn't ask for her old office. She didn't want it. She asked for a contract. Remote. Her hours. The shop stays open, Her name stays out of any press release, and Vantage funds an independent audit of every ticket she'd ever filed and been ignored on. Grant signed off within the week. Turned out to be cheaper than a recall. Rae still opens Holloway Auto at 7 most mornings. Danny still does homework on that same stool. But most nights now, when the trucks roll down the 2-lane past her window, green light blinking on every cab, she doesn't watch them like a threat anymore. She watches them like something she's still, quietly, keeping alive. Rae never got an apology. She never asked for one. What she got was proof. Not the kind that comes from somebody saying sorry. The kind that comes from a truck stopping 6 feet short instead of 60. Sometimes the people who write you off never learn your name again. But somewhere down the road, they're still driving on the one you saved for them, whether they know it or not. So here's my question for you tonight. If the people who wrote you off needed saving, and only you could do it, would you? Tell me in the comments. I read every one. If you want more stories like this, hit subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.